morning, peeps. Welcome to another vlog. Today is Chinese New Year, so the wife and the kid and the dog and I are going to be going to our in-laws at the end of this video to enjoy our festivity. And today, when it comes to work, I think we're doing none other than valves. Alrighty, so we are replacing hot and cold today. We're gonna remove this PEX. If you take a look at this right here, this is actually a clamp that's leaking, and that's the whole reason we came in. These gear clamps are stopping a leak from happening, which is really scary. And then we have all SharkBite connections. Well, no, we have two SharkBite connections. One here, one there, and then we have PEX. I'm gonna replace all this PEX with copper simply because that's the material already that's there. I'm gonna be adding a dishwasher valve and a hot and cold connector, and also two ball valves. One ball valve here and a second one over here as well. One thing I'm testing today, we bought this off of Amazon. This is a SharkBite remover. Let's try it. So peeps, the very first phase of this job is to prepare the area for the work that I'm planning on doing. This cabinet has a lot of space, but the biggest obstacle in our way is the drain sitting right in front of the riser branches we need to get to. So what I start with is using our new SharkBite remover to get rid of all the PEX pipe, and then I cut our riser branches to the appropriate length before cleaning them. At the same time, I will also remove the drain so it's easier to get my soldering materials inside. One thing I want to note, this black ABS pipe for the drain you see here is against code. It should not be in this application because the ABS does not match the fire and smoke rating for these buildings. So I let the customer know this immediately when I got to the job site, and now it's their responsibility to get it changed. Unfortunately, my hands are tied. I'm not allowed to change things unless I get their permission. As you'll see, I'm going to go through two phases for soldering. The first phase will be to solder two ball valves and a dishwasher valve and two vertical nipples. I decided to solder this assembly because it would be significantly harder to solder the two horizontal pipes which are supposed to rest on the vertical nipples afterwards. By soldering the vertical nipples now, I ensure a solid workspace for the horizontal pipes to come. One thing I really want to stress is that I'm personally not offended that we have an unlicensed workforce in the trades, because I believe that we do have some community members that just can't afford licensed plumbers. What bothers me though is when the unlicensed plumbers don't uphold the codes we have here in Ontario, like the person that assembled this drain did. That's because what we're trading is a cheaper cost for the safety of your neighbors. I am bound by my license and obligated by the Ontario code to not put ABS in this building because in the event of a fire, ABS produces an abundance of toxic fumes and smoke. So the neighbors above can be killed before the flames ever get to them, which makes the odds stacked against them if they ever have to evacuate the building because of a fire. So for me, this is a moral issue. I have said no to customers that have asked me to install ABS in this application because I can only put in XFR if it's a plastic or copper and brass. And those materials are very close in price to one another. Plastic does go in a little bit faster for sure, sure, and there might be some savings in labor, but when you get proficient in brass and copper, the speed can also be there as well. This is where the conversation turns philosophical for me. Is it possible to maintain a high standard of safety and provide cheaper prices without compromising morals? This doesn't only apply to plumbing, but I would argue it applies to capitalism as a whole. Some of the places on the planet that manufacture our consumer goods to be cheaper for us are infamously also unsafe workplaces. And I'm just wondering if there is a necessary correlation between safety and cheaper cost, or can we avoid that correlation? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I would love to get your take on it. One thing that's pretty cool about this video is that I use my small little mirror for 3 different important tasks. The first one is I check to see if my soldering is sound. You've probably seen me do this in multiple videos in the past, but the second way I use it is to check to see if my cleaning is sound. I have been bitten too many times by an unclean pipe that I cannot see and therefore cannot solder. And the reason why that is because the part that is unclean is in a blind spot where, unbeknownst to me, it's got paint on it that won't come off, or it just needs to be filed a bit more, etc. So if I ever notice a blind spot, I will actually look for it with my mirror and see and make sure that it is as clean as I think it needs to be. The third way I use my mirror is I use it as a support. Because it's telescopic, I can actually use it to keep my pipe level as I solder. Unless I mount my horizontal pipe onto something, it is very difficult to maintain it level without some support, so the mirror proves to be one of the most useful tools on this job site. Alrighty, first of all, we gotta say one thing, which is my dad recently learned how to go onto Amazon and start purchasing things. So he had a real difficult time once taking off SharkBite fittings. So he went onto Amazon and bought these bad boys right here. That's what you saw me working on in there. And they're kind of cool. I gotta show you how they function. So we have ourselves some PEX pipe. We have the original SharkBite fitting that was actually in there. I'm gonna put this on real quick. Just like so, snapped on. And here's how these work. One part of this actually goes over the SharkBite. It's wide enough to actually clip onto the SharkBite like so, and the bottom portion comes onto the ring that you have to take the SharkBite off. And if you squeeze these together like so, you should be able to pull it out just like that. The first time I did it, I put these on upside down and it wasn't working because this doesn't actually go into it. But if you turn them around, you can actually snap the SharkBite in and you're good to go. And I gotta be honest, kind of cool. Worked out in our favor. It's a good tool to have if you're working with SharkBite fittings. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that I ended up running a bunch of pipe in there. I didn't go as fast as I normally do, but it also took me a while to figure these out. Peeps, a shorter video today. We're heading out to my in-laws to do some Chinese New Year. Let's go. So peeps, peeps, as I told you earlier in this video, it is Chinese New Year's. I am officially at the in-laws house. We're about to have some dinner. For those of you celebrating, I just want to wish you all a happy Chinese New Year. For those of you not, thank you for supporting the channel. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below and that bell notification so you know exactly when we're getting videos. Share this video if you know somebody that likes plumbing, and I'll see you plumbers very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.